What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel on this fine Saturday afternoon. The NFL playoffs have begun. There's 2 games today. I believe Chiefs, of course, play tomorrow night, but we got the 88 plus reroll odds. We got our best training to buy for the reroll, and then we got my reroll process, because I always believe when it comes to a reroll, a trading reroll especially, you need a process of what to do with every card to try to get some extra value, especially on the cards that actually lose you profit or lose you coins on the roll. So hopping into the cheapest training, what is the cheapest training to buy? If you did not invest in training at 4.5 earlier during the week, you're a little bit out of luck, but it's not that bad. You can pick up a 94 overall playoff card right now. If you filter down to all offense, all defense, position by position, you can get one pretty easily for under 90,000 coins. And Jadeveon Clowney, of course, just pops up for 87k. That's going to be a ratio of 4.7. Of course, a 94 overall quick sales for 19k training, but that ratio is going to be 4.7 per, which actually is not too bad considering the entire market has kind of just risen a little bit. But yeah, you go all offense, all defense if it's not 59th minute, but it is going to be the best training to buy. I've gone through all the overalls. This seems to be the easiest filter to get good snipes on and to get a pretty good ratio. But in terms of how much it actually costs for the reroll, being 5,000 training, of course the formula 4.7, the coins to training ratio times the training cost, you're going to get 23.5k coins per roll. That actually doesn't, of course, take into account the card you get back from the roll, but in terms of just a general cost, like if you were to buy it in a pack in the market, it costs you 23.5k, but that doesn't really matter. Now we're hopping in the background, you're going to see a 100k training reroll I did tonight, kind of sped up so you guys can just see something in the background. But the odds, 88 overall is going to be coming in at 52%, so just over half your packs are going to be an 88 overall. They quick sell for 2180 training points. It's actually the only overall where you're losing training if you were just to quick sell everything, because a 90 overall is 5,000 training, that being the pack cost. You can quick sell it and break even technically, but 90 overall is going to come in at 29%, so just over 1 every 4 packs you're going to be pulling that 90 overall Le'Veon Bell, our favorite quarterback of all time, Joe Flacco. But that is the 90 overall odds. The 92 overalls, you also just saw a 94 pull in the background, but the 92 is coming in at a 12%, so not too bad, just over 1 out of 10 packs. It quick sells for 10,000 training. You're technically doubling your training if you're just a quick sell and 92 overall. I don't know exactly the 92s, but I know Adam Thielen, I want to say Keanu Neal is another 92. Now for the 94 overalls, and this is where the odds start to get really grim. The 94 overalls quick sell for 19k training, so you're times it by 4, you're quadrupling your training. 6.4%, not terrible, but you're going to see with the 97 overall, that's what you're going to be waiting for as we pull another 94 in the background. The 97 overall is really brutal. It's not as good as the 96 overall LTDs we had during Zero Chill rerolls. And here it is, the 97 overall. Of course, it's Johnny Unitas. He's in packs till Sunday morning. It's not a 3-day. LTD is in packs till Sunday morning. 97 overall, 0.32%, so you're pulling it basically once every 230 packs. I think that's the number, but man, brutal odds when it comes to Johnny U. He has a value, I think, right now about 330k. So when it comes to the reroll, you've got all the cards, and by the way, these cards aren't from that reroll. This is kind of just over the night's course. I had to keep some 92s and 94s to just show you what I like to do. Now, I personally don't like to quick sell everything. Yes, it's the most efficient way to kind of just get you back into the packs, try to pull an LTD, but you have to understand with how EA works and how a reroll works, the house is always going to win. The odds are set up for you to fail. So if you keep rerolling, if you do endless and endless rerolls and you quick sell, eventually if you just quick sell everything for training, you're going to lose a little bit. It's set up for you to lose. So that's why I don't necessarily like quick selling everything. But of course, if you're on a time restriction, you might just have to. But we're going to try to find some extra value for each of the overalls. I always like having a reroll process when doing rerolls. So what to do with the 88s, we're going to find the lazy buyer price for each of the overalls. The 88s we look to be going for, yes, they're 13,000, but they are expiring, which means these aren't the most popular lazy set. Like, it's not easy to sell these at a lazy buyer price. So I would say if you want to be safe to sell these guys, I'd say 12,000, maybe 11. I'd say more around 12.2k seems to be kind of the price. You can see one just expired for 13.4, and it's the lowest up on the filter. So you can see the 88 overalls are really hard to lazy sell. So I'd say 12.2k, which gives them a value after tax of 11k. So we're getting back 11k from the pack if we pull an 88 overall and we're to sell it for a lazy buyer price. But there is a set to get some extra value for the 88s. It's going to be the 90 overall Road to the Playoffs fantasy pack, and we add 2 88 overalls, which remember 11k value, and then we do need an 85 overall, and I'll go show you the best filter for that. That is going to be the Campus Hero 2 filter. You're going to see me buy a Booger McFarland for just under 4,000 coins for an 85 overall. It's the best filter. You can get these guys for a lot cheaper, really. barely did 4,000 coins, but the set value or cost, or the value basically after tax that we're putting in to this set is going to be just at 26k, 11k after tax for an 88 if we were to lazy sell that, and then the 85 overall. So we need to get back at least 26k after tax for this set to be worth it. Well, I only would have put this in the video if we were getting a little bit extra value. So now, and this is actually going to tie into the 90 overall, what to do with the 90s, because it actually is the exact same thing. We're going to find the lazy buyer price or lazy buying selling point for 90 overall. If you go check, and these seem to be a lot better. You can see the lowest timer is about like 26 minutes, 17 minutes. You can see they finally look to seem expiring at about the 33k mark. The timer is winding down, which means they're just not being bought. By the way, they buy these at these lazy buy prices because they don't filter down to the program, to the position. It's just a 90-91 filter. They might need 5,000 trading for whatever reason. They're gonna just go 90-91, buy the cheapest. So it looks like the lazy buyer price for them, and I did this on stream, I was able to sell these guys right at about 32,000 coins. Of course, remember, we put in 26k for the set. We're getting back about 29k after tax for lazy selling a 90 overall. So it's not much. It's an 88, but you have to understand the 88 overalls are the most common cards to pull. So every 2 88s, you're getting an extra about 3.2k back, an extra 1.5k per card. And I know it's not a lot, but you gotta understand, we're pulling 88s at a 50% rate. You pull 50 packs, you pull 25. That's an extra, and I did the math, 36k on those 25 88s, which it does add up if you do a lot of rerolls. Yes, it is a pain to kind of lazy sell them, but we need to get the most value back, especially for the cards and the overalls that are just L's. They're just straight L's. So 90 overalls, you're going to want to list for 1 hour, and yes, it's easier during the day to lazy sell for about 32,000 coins. They should sell. If not, adjust your prices, check the market. So what to do with 92s? We've covered 88s, we've covered 90s. The individual price for 92, if we just look by the player, it's going to be about 50k. We're going to go to the sets because, you know, there might be a set, but I went and checked the 94s, the 96s. Unfortunately, the 92s don't really have a set. 292s, you can see 100k for that, and an 88. We know the 94s to go for about 90k in the market, so that's not a good set. We're going to check the lazy buyer price for the 92, and you're going to see 54k just in the generic 92 to 93 filter. We kind of filtered down. You can see the timer, and I'm recording this in nighttime, so it's not the best, but 58k looks to be that kind of point where they are expiring. So I would say 57, 58k is the lazy buyer price, and that is, of course, significantly more than 50,000 coins individually looking up. We're getting an extra 5 to 7k per each 92, so that of course is going to be the best way, or the most value. Because again, by the way, when I forgot to mention this, the 88 overalls at 11k for their 2880 trading point is about a 5.2 ratio. The 90 overall at 32k or 29k, that's about 6, so that's significantly over the 4.7 we're buying for. And then of course the 92s at about 52k, of course that's 10,000, so that's 5.2 trading. We're trying to buy at 4.7. Now with the 94s, if you individually look them up, we know them to be about 90,000 coins. And this is the one overall where I actually say, if you want to, because I know the lazy buyer price to be about 104, 105k, that being 95, that's not much more than the 90k we were buying for. I don't mind quick selling these 94s. It's like 4.8, 4.9, which is barely over the 4.7 we were originally buying for. So yes, actually taking a look at the 94 lazy buyer price, and this is actually the way to get the most value back for the 94s. It looks to be about 104, 105k, which isn't too bad, being 95k after tax. Like I said, barely over the 90k we were originally buying for. So that's why I kind of say, if there's any overall I like quick selling, it is the 94s, getting back 19,000 trading, just over that 4.7 we were originally buying for. But there is a set, and this comes more down to if you are no money spent, if you need some players for your teams. The set, we know that 95k being the value for that, 285k for the Travis Kelce or Troy Polamalu set. Troy P, which I'm going to take an example for this, he's going for a little bit more, about 220k, getting back 198k after tax for Troy P. It ends up being, with the set costing 285k, you're spending 87k, and well, you're getting back 3 94 overalls for 87k, which I think is a pretty good deal considering they go for about 90k, of course. So if you need these cards for your team, you get Hollywood Brown, Taylor Lewan, Jared Cook, that's a tight end, left tackle, and a wide receiver. This only applies, of course, if you want these guys on your team. 394s for the price of 87k after doing some rerolls isn't too bad. If you need some building blocks for your team, I think there's a total of 4. You got Jadeveon Clowney too, a pretty good player. I'm guessing some more 94s will be added next week. But yeah, for the 94 overalls, if you want to get the most coin value, again, I know it's a little bit boring, but lazy selling at about 105k. Make sure for the lazy selling prices, you always go check your own, because it is going to be very fluctuating. 1 hour might be 103, 1 hour might be 107. Make sure you check the prices. Always list for 1 hour, but that is going to be for the 94s. And then the 97s, kind of an investing tip. I personally, Johnny Unitas is the one LT where I'm telling you, you actually might want to sell right away. Maybe if you're If you're risky, wait until Sunday because we are getting make rights for Johnny Unitas in the middle of next week, and we saw with the make rights with Derrick Henry. I expect Johnny Unitas to be under 300k when those make rights go into effect. So if you happen to pull Johnny U and you don't want him for your team, you're like, I want to get the most value coin-wise for him, you can risk it for Sunday. Maybe, I'm guessing they don't do make rights on Sunday, maybe not Monday, but Sunday's probably the safest. You might be able to get 350 because he is at a pack Sunday morning, but I would sell him probably before Monday morning in case they make, in case they activate the make rights Monday morning, will crash Johnny Unitas price. But that is all for the video. Hope you guys learned a little bit when it came to the reroll, what I like to do in terms of my process and how to get some extra coins from the reroll, because, well, we're not all, well, I'm a millionaire, but you know, if you're on a budget, you want to get the most value back for your 88 plus reroll. That is going to be it. Of course, it is a reroll. Odds, it's all going to come down. If you pull good cards, you're going to get profit. If you pull bad cards, you're going to lose coins. Of course, may the odds be ever in your favor, and until next time, peace.